confirmed that several nuclear warheads have detonated across the continent.
Let's prepare as the world braces for the inevitable retaliation to the...
Both the United States and Soviet Union have called for a ceasefire, just days after the...
Left to pick up the pieces.
Great swathes of land across Eurasia, most heavily affected by the fallout from the nuclear...
To vote by the Union of Allied Nations to ensure a conflict of this scale will never happen again.
Strange flesh-like vines.
A group calling themselves the Tempest Dynasty have claimed responsibility for...
More often in highly irradiated zones, seem to be emerging from the Earth.
What have you found?
It's old. It looks like stone, but it isn't. It's too perfectly coarse, like it wanted to be this shape. I think it was built for the Tempest, or maybe the other way around.
Is there a way in?
Well, it appears to be laid out like a ziggurat.
Show me.
Uh-huh. Oh, yes. Yes, follow me.
Hey, inform the boy. You all want to know about this. Send the data, now!
Commander, good of you to join us. Gotta say, your file was a pretty impressive read. I'm Colonel Fisher. You'll be reporting directly to me. We could certainly use someone with your track record. Intelligence has a situation brewing in, in Iceland. We have routine Tempest harvesting all over the grid, but some of the lights are going out, starting from the East Coast. If you ask me, I reckon it looks deliberate. I want you to do a sweep of the area and flush out any Dynasty forces you might find. Remind them that the GDF isn't to be trifled with. I'll link your control interface to the battle network. If you've got any questions, now's the time to voice them. Despite what you hear in the news, the Tempest Dynasty isn't actually led by Domovoy Malkalin. You've seen his face. He's a figurehead, being puppeted around as a mascot. All because he founded the Dynasty, gave his people something to focus on in the fallout. It's PR. These days, he probably doesn't know where he is half the time. The Dynasty is actually controlled by Alex Malkalin, his son. That man's the reason the Dynasty even qualifies as a military, rather than a band of old men waving their sticks at the world because of how the war ended. They're a threat, sure, but only because they think they've got something to point. That's why we're here. Technically, the threat level is negligible. To be honest, I don't like it. If it is the Dynasty, they're up to something. There's a lot of Tempest all over Iceland, and you know they're obsessed with the stuff. Why go all that way just to harass our harvesters? They've got their own irradiated zones to squabble over. Let's hope a small contingent just got a bit too big for their own boots. Watch your back out there, that's all I'm saying. According to scopes, nothing. We're chasing ghosts with guns. Maybe it is nothing, but I'll believe that when I see it. Take care of your units, and keep your eyes sharp. They're counting on you. Glad to hear it. Stand by while I patch you through, and good luck. I put my neck on the block to get you this position. Don't let me down. Let's see what you can do, Commander. Commander, still in one piece. Nice work, but we're not done here yet. Stand by. I'm patching you through to R&D. Dr. Francis wants a word with you. Dr. Francis, this is the one I told you about.
Just a second, Colonel. Ah, good. You're the one operating near Flotstadtstjenaf, right? Anything and everything related to Tempest research goes through my team. And Iceland has Tempest in abundance. We have over 24 harvesting jobs over there. And evidently the small military presence the Council deemed to allot us isn't anywhere near enough. The Dynasty wants the Tempest. I need you to keep them off our harvesters. I think you can do that? First time working in the field with it? Vines are usually what catches the eye first, but it's the pods that are the highest interest. The fluid inside carries an incredible potential for energy conversion, clean and extremely efficient. Power that grows on trees. Far too hyperbolic for my taste, but you get the picture. I know Carmen and Writhing, the Tempest looks downright nightmarish, but we found it favors areas of high fallout saturation for a reason. As it spreads, the radiation readings go down. Still, we have a lot yet to learn. I have biologists working on its cellular structure. The interesting thing is, it looks like a plant, but it's not. It's not even eukaryotic. Our harvesters extract the Tempest fluid directly from the pods and carry it back to the refinery for processing, and is added to your credits. The refinery can only store so much, but you can use silos to store the excess. Harvesters are shielded to prevent the buildup of Tempest charge, but take care of how you position your other vehicles. The charge plays havoc with electronics, and most vehicles aren't graded for proximity to the Tempest. The Dynasty does things a little different. Instead of a refinery, they use those huge mobile rigs. For the most part, the juice is used as an energy source. It's combustible, but the easiest and safest way to harness the energy is with simple electrodes. You don't have to worry about that, though. The Tempest you harvest is accumulated as credits, which you can then use to construct a base and build your forces. From the way the Tempest interferes with unshielded tech, it also shows potential for use on the battlefield, with charged imbued shells. We're currently field testing these. Before research was suspended, prior evidence indicates that no part of the Tempest formation is edible. Good. Take care of my techies out there. If you'll excuse me. Colonel.
Commander, I'm sending your troops to reinforce a base that just went dark. Push the Dynasty out, repair the base, and get our refineries back online. If the Dynasty are here for our Tempest, harvest as much as you can before they can take it. The nest has been kicked. Let's see what comes crawling out. Good work, Commander. Thanks to your efforts, Iceland has been reclaimed, and the Dynasty have been sent packing. All the same, the Council is concerned. The Dynasty hold most of Eurasia. They're going to have their hackles up after this stunt, even if it was just a renegade company pushing their luck. If they're up to something, we need to know. Now, the primary Dynasty HQ is in southeastern Europe. Much of their military infrastructure is centered here and around the edges of their Tempest zone. But they also have bases dotted across the continent, and Scopes has tracked some interesting movement from the west and found you at target. This is a standard intel op, Commander. Infiltrate the base, grab what you can, and get out. I'm shipping you out some of our advanced specialists for this mission. They're currently en route over the Pacific. Is that understood? The best and brightest of GDF soldiers, handpicked for their skills and trained to hone their abilities. You'll be working alongside some of them today. Pay close attention to their individual strengths and, more importantly, weaknesses. A well-positioned specialist can cause havoc against the enemy, but they are, after all, still human. It would be a great loss to GDF if you were unable to keep them alive. I'm sure you would feel the same about your career. That's classified, for you and me both. All I know is that dozens of aircraft were tracked leaving from the same location to bases across the continent. At two of those bases, Scopes has stills of flight cases being unloaded. This base offers our best shot at getting inside without risking provocation. It's interesting that the aircraft all originated from northeastern Europe, though. It should be all Tempest and Fallout up there. Wouldn't surprise me if Dynasty has more bases than we can measure up in those zones. They practically worship the Tempest, and the radiation plays with our sensors. You'll be operating deep in enemy territory, Commander. As far as we know, they aren't rolling out the red carpet for your arrival, but it wouldn't hurt to be cautious. An ambush isn't off the table. Stick to stealth as best as you can, but make sure to adapt quickly and smartly if things go south. Very good. Show us what you can do, Commander. Over and out. Commander, good, you're here. The intel you brought us led to a base in Central Europe. The recon we sent in was repelled. They didn't stand a chance. The Dynasty have amassed an enormous army right under our noses. And as of 10 minutes ago, while the GDF Council was debating whether to even respond, the Dynasty have launched attacks across our western border. They've been planning this for God knows how long. I see. Stand by, Commander. I have a line for you from the Council.
Commander, it's a pleasure. Undersecretary Green, advisor to the Council of Directors. And it is on behalf of the Council that I have to say, your skills are certainly impressive. We've been watching your work. While the council is still in session, I have been asked to get in touch. I see that you were allocated the use of some of our specialists in your last sortie. Congratulations. Do be careful with them. They are rather useful tools, and it would be a great shame for some of them to be displaced. Be sure to listen to your specialists. They have a lot of experience on the field. Oh, speaking of, if I may be so bold, you surely wouldn't object to having an advisor of your own, no? Your performance in command has been outstanding, of course, but surely such menial tasks as paperwork are beneath you. There are a few hardworking individuals I could recommend, people you would trust to...
I need my commander back, please.
It appears my time is up. Commander, it's...
Always talking, never doing. I need you to oversee the front lines. No. Scratch that. The front lines appear to be a lot closer to home than they were. Screw it. Commander, reinforce Munich. I'm rerouting your forces there now. You won't have long to mount a defense before the enemy reaches the city. I have reinforcements on their way to you, but you'll have to make do as best as you can. Hold the line. We can't afford to lose the city. You're up.
There you are. The Colonel's predisposed, so he sent you my way. He's not one to show it, but it sounds like you've impressed him. You're being sent to the Alps. Scopes has identified a convoy on approach from the east. We have a column of military bunkers dug into the Alps, and it looks like that's what the Dynasty is looking for. Here is where it gets interesting. There's a point where the road turns north briefly to get through the mountains. You're going to set up an ambush. There's a small satellite base up there that you can use to establish a foothold and build up your forces. Scopes is registering 6 blips on the roads to the south of your location. Don't let them through. You've been cleared for use of GDF aircraft to navigate the mountains. You're welcome for that, by the way. Not all ground forces have anti-air capabilities. I think you'll be able to put our aerial units to good use. These mountain bunkers were excavated shortly before the Third World War. Some of them were even used during. Afterwards, GDF took custody of these bunkers in the Alps, as well as others in the Black Forest, the Apennines, and the Pyrenees. Military command, data centers, science R&D, etc., all deep within the mountains. A formidable natural fortress. The mainstay of GDF Airborne Arsenal is the Peacekeeper Helo. It's outfitted with front-mounted riot suppression anti-infantry weapons, the same as your riot troopers. It trades lethality for crowd control, first slowing infantry, and then disabling their ability to use weapons. The Peacekeeper also possesses anti-air missiles. Once fired, the missiles will gradually rearm in the air or resupply much faster by returning to an air pad. The convoys will be approaching from the south, 6 of them coming from 3 roads. They're all headed towards this pass in the north. The Dynasty already has some forces hunkered down in the north that they've managed to sneak through. As long as you don't allow the convoys to resupply them, we'll be able to flush them out. That's not your concern, though. Your job is to stop the convoys. Glad to hear. You know what you're doing? Get to it. I need to get back to work. And while I shouldn't make a personal appeal here, my R&D labs are inside these bunkers. I would appreciate it immensely if you stopped them. Thank you.
Good to see you, Commander. I've been catching up on your work since I landed. I've got to say, I'm impressed. I hear the Council has been taking note of you as well. Keep it up. Hopefully something good will come of that. Anyway, I've got a heavily defended Dynasty base sitting on a huge Tempest field. It's being used to push against our frontline forces, and I'd like this base taken off the map. Sounded like your kind of thing. What do you reckon? I always wanted to visit France. Never counted on war breaking out to get me here, though. I'm here to better oversee the war across Europe. And while I miss my office back in Canada, it's better to have boots on the ground this side of the Atlantic. At least here, I'm linked in with the GDF comms grid and don't have to rely on dial-up. So, problem. The base is quite a ways into Dynasty territory. You won't be able to move an MCV through the area unnoticed. I'll send what I can your way, but you've got to work with what you have. I know how it looks. Small task force taking down a well-defended base. But it has to be done. If any of our commanders can pull it off, it's you. The GDF Council of Directors. Not the kind of people I enjoy working with. I mean, I get it. You can't have a global collaborative military without having some body of oversight to ensure each participating nation's individual bureaucratic demands are met. It's the way it has to be. It barely works, but it's a miracle it does work at all. The problem is that these politicians don't know the first thing about combat. They've never heard of the word urgent. Getting them to agree on even the most basic of things requires them to wade through masses of red tape. Too many hands on the tiller. In that case, ready up. I'm counting on you, Commander. Pull that base apart.
Commander, well met. I'm told you're the one who reacquired Iceland. Congratulations. You must be very proud. The GDF Council of Directors would like to extend its appreciation for your efforts. The figures we've seen are impressive, and it is because of this that the Council has voted to requisition your services for an important mission. Colonel Fisher has already been briefed. You'll be conducting a search and rescue operation in a major civilian center. The region has long been sympathetic to the Tempest Dynasty, and will soon fall under GDF purview. We want someone with your flawless reputation to sweep the city for those who are hurt and in need. Show the world the benevolent, humanitarian face of GDF. Not as a military might, more a protector. This will...
Director, if I may...
Excuse me, Commander. Commander, the Council needs you to mobilize immediately. Oh, and I need to inform you of the possibility of remaining Dynasty presence. If you do see any, you are authorized to abolish them in whatever ways seems most appropriate.
Excellent work, Commander. R&D has passed me some preliminary reports. It looks like the Dynasty tech's working on a vehicle-mountable voltaic cannon. I wouldn't put it past them to have backups of the data, but at least you bought us some valuable time. Dr. Francis says her team's working on countermeasures. If they'd caught us unaware with one of these tanks, it could have been disastrous. For now, we're having scopes crunch the numbers on the data we have. If we can track down any secondary sites, I'll need you to go in and put an end to production before they...
Colonel Fisher, a word. The GDF Council requires the use of your commander.
What's going on?
We have located an old temple and are mounting an archaeological dig in the area to investigate. SOCOM has the details. The temple is Dynasty territory, and we will need a military escort. Your high praise of the commander suggests that they're the best person for the job.
Director, this is so far from the battle. Why send the commander there?
If I might interject, the site has come up in relation to ancient manuscripts that reference what appears to be the Tempest. Naturally, further scientific investigation into the Vine would be of great benefit to the war effort.
Ancient manuscripts? Are you saying they knew about the Tempest all those years ago?
I'm not at liberty to speculate on sensitive topics. I'm sure you understand.
GDF cannot be seen to be behind the Dynasty in terms of Tempest research. As you can see, this mission is of the utmost importance. The Council is counting on you. See to it, Colonel.
You have your orders, Commander. Let's get this done.
This failure cannot stand. The Dynasty detonated a nuclear warhead within GDF territory.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but for whatever reason, the Dynasty chose to set it off below the surface. Losses could have been a hell of a lot worse.
A nuclear warhead, Colonel. The Earth is already choking in radiation from the last war.
I'm aware of the effects, but I was not responsible for its detonation, and neither was the commander.
The bomb was sighted in transit during the commander's last mission. Why did the commander not stop it?
The retreat order had been issued in the face of insurmountable reinforcements from enemy territory. The harebrained mission had been accomplished, and the order was given to prevent further unnecessary loss of life.
The Dynasty cannot be allowed to move nuclear weapons around unchallenged. The commander should have belayed the retreat order and targeted the bomb's escort. Colonel, do I make myself clear?
I think you should see this.
My God, what the hell are those things?
Are you getting this? These creatures are coming from under the ground! Temperature, man! Our Dynasty platoon just got wiped! We survived! There are too many!
Director?
What was... That's not...
CyCog, Code Red. Issue an immediate retreat order to all GDF units in 10 miles. Get our troops out of there. Weapons free. These things fire back. Get our drone fleet in the air and get me a satellite pointed at this. I want to know what the hell we're dealing with. Commander, your forces are closest.
Commander, it's good to see you. I won't lie, it's chaos. Normally I enjoy not knowing things, but right now, we can't afford mistakes. Things are not looking good. I've seen, well, skimmed reports of mission. You pushed the enemy back. Well done. Other commanders haven't fared so well. Their weaponry is like nothing I've ever seen. The Dynasty is just crumpled. Scope's just got images of their main HQ, or where it used to be. I bet you're attacking mankind indiscriminately. But if you're counting on some unholy alliance with the Dynasty, I'd forget it. Their forces are scattering. We're on our own. The Colonel's shipping you back to the front line. Do whatever you can to stop them. It's a word one of the archaeologists found linked to the enemy. We don't know what they're actually called. All attempts to make contact have failed. They've done nothing but kill since they surfaced from wherever they came from. I don't know what they want, but it involves getting rid of us. Is this retaliation for harvesting the Tempest? The footage I've seen is chilling. They're callously precise. It's like they know what humans are, like they've done this before. Great question. From your last mission, we know they're not invincible. We know they can be stopped. They fight with high-energy weapons. Their technology is astounding. I might have thought it was magic had I not been studying Tempest applications for the last decade. But all the same, the creatures themselves seem to be made of flesh and blood. Your tactics may need to change, but conventional weapons are at least still effective. I do have to say, though, maybe I'm anthropomorphizing their body language, but the Vedi seem surprised whenever they see one of their kind killed. I get the feeling they're not used to losing. Sounds like your sort of challenge, eh, Commander? They certainly have a history with it. So far, the Red Vine has defied taxonomic classification. We just don't know where it fits into the Tree of Life. It's too early to say with the Vedi, but I do have to say I'm disturbed by how human-like their physiology is. At any rate, where did they come from? Where did the Tempest come from? How did they both end up deep under the Earth's surface? I'm sorry, Commander. I really don't know. What I will say is this. We know the Tempest thrives in radioactive environments. That nuclear warhead the Dynasty were transporting, that was right before we saw the Vedi. That was the catalyst. Did someone in the Dynasty know? But then, the Vedi wiped the Dynasty out. Something doesn't add up. You're going to be the last line of defense between us and the Vedi. Best of luck out there, Commander.
GDF research indicates the following. The Vine has been sourced to mineral-rich rock in the upper crust. However, no strong correlations have yet been drawn. The cell structure of the Tempest Vine more closely resembles that of the aggressor species than terrestrial eukaryotes. The Vedi utilize the Tempest extensively in their technology. Early analysis suggests the Vedi may be able to metabolize the Tempest fluid. The Vedi's strength lies in their reliance on the Tempest. Their access to the resource must be denied.
Outstanding work, Commander. Not going to lie, we needed that win. We've tracked the Vedi's movement further along the Med, and some of them have made landfall on the coast of Spain, where they've established a foothold in a valley. We were about to send in some troops to flush them out, but then Scopes caught something. This is the Tempest Instability Missile. It's a Dynasty weapon. We need one. Here's where you're going to put it. There's a greater mass of vines coming from this fissure than any I've seen before, all centered on something they've raised out of the ground. We don't know what it is. We don't know if it's alive, but they're protecting it. They traveled all this way to dig it up. Stand by, Commander. Dr. Francis wants to explain this. Doctor, I got the Commander on the line. Go ahead.
R&D has been trying to reverse engineer the Tempest instability effect. And with some adjustments, we've discovered a strange property. It causes the Tempest to turn in on itself. The fluid begins to eat away at the vines. The energy in the fluid, it becomes unstable, tearing them apart from the inside. It essentially shatters the vines on a cellular level. The fluid carries the effect like a shockwave. All that energy held in the Tempest, building in potency as it spreads. On a large scale, the effect could be catastrophic. The Vedi are linked to the Tempest. They use it for their power, their weaponry. I wouldn't be surprised if they consume it. Get me one of these missiles, Commander. Then buy me enough time to make the modifications. I'll see you out there.
There's an old Dynasty base between you and the Vedi. You're going to need to have boots on the ground before your main forces arrive. Take control of their base and dig yourself in. Then, get ready to fight like hell. The Council's not going to like this one, but you leave them to me. This is the big one. We're all counting on you. See to it, Commander. Let's get it done.
The Vedi are positioned on top of a fissure in the valley. The Tempest erupting from the fissure stretches deep underground. The vines connect, forming a colossal underground energy system that the Vedi bases tap into. This weakness must be exploited. The Dynasty Instability Missile can be modified to cause an energy cascade in the Tempest fluid. Capture the Dynasty base and acquire the missile. Good luck, Commander.
We're ready. Instability missile has some modifications.
Impossible. Impossible. Impossible.
I told you the council wasn't going to be happy. Still, that figures. That's the price of being a hero. For being the finest damn commander GDF has ever seen. Well, in my humble opinion anyway. The Veti invasion has halted completely. When the instability shockwave hit, a third of their forces dropped. The rest appear to have retreated underground. We're still catching some stragglers as we sweep across Europe. The structures they've built are in a deactivated state. Their gateways are offline. Dr. Francis is on the site in Spain right now. We have a lot to learn. This has left us with a problem. The human-based workforce the Veti used. They've all been left behind. They're non-hostile, still mobile, but unresponsive. GDF has been working to corral them, but we don't know how the Veti were controlling them, or if there's anything left of the people they were. It's like they're just waiting for their signal. As for the Veti, I'm not counting on them being gone for good. Not by a long shot. They fought with too much conviction, too much ferocity. There's no way they're just going to run away. We hit them far harder than they were expecting, and we found a chink in their armor. But mark my words, this was a tactical retreat. We've got work to do. For now, get yourself some rest, Commander. You've more than earned it.
Congratulations, Commander. The GDF Council of Directors commends your achievements on the battlefield. We have deliberated on the next phase of the war, and we would like to make you an offer.
Ah, our new Major General. Congratulations. Your work in the field speaks for itself. Impressive. Very impressive. You may call me Alex. We have a lot of work to do. For too long, we have been idle, as GDF lays claim to the Tempest that is rightfully ours. Our birthright. This responsibility fell to me, and with every fiber of my being, I swore that I would lead our people towards the destiny that my father had envisioned. I will make him proud. Our destiny begins today. Our future will be incandescent, and you will have the honor of lighting the touch paper. Don't stand too close.
Yes, I have your signal, General. It is good to see you. My name is Lieutenant Melnick. I will be working with you as your intelligence officer for your missions. Command is upping requirements for Tempest harvesting. You will be reclaiming Tempest from Dynasty soil in the Balkans, currently under the control of GDF. A storm is brewing, General. Stand by. I'm connecting your terminal to our command systems. While I get the uplink online, if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to help. In terms of numbers, anything between a token presence and a fully operational combat-ready base. Nothing you can't handle, I hope. Our satellite images of this area are outdated, but we know GDF are still crawling around on what used to be Dynasty territory. The so-called Defense Force has been annexing Dynasty land for decades. They may have a tech advantage. Well, at least they think they do. But they lack an understanding and appreciation of the Tempest itself. To them, it's just a resource. It is a gift. We have an old base in this area. It was abandoned when GDF tried to push through and take the Adriatic. If you can get it back online, it'll go a long way to helping you establish a foothold. Also, remember that the locals used to live under the Dynasty's flag. And the Dynasty takes care of its own. Ask them how they feel about GDF stomping around on their lands. Ah, yes. This'll be your first mission deploying our Tempest rigs, correct? I think you'll appreciate their utility. While GDF still uses stationary refineries, our mobile rig platforms refine the fluid harvested from Tempest pods on the move. We have almost 200 rigs presently deployed across Eastern Europe. The more radiation, the better the Tempest grows. The pod fluid is widely used as an energy source. Fossil fuels don't even come close in fuel efficiency. It's easy to harvest as well, providing you're properly insulated, of course. I hear the lab coats are researching possible uses for vines themselves. That way, nothing is wasted. Understood. All right. I have you in my system. Your task is simple. Get in, gather the Tempest, and get out. Good luck, General. Welcome back, General. Command is pleased with your work. The Tempest you harvested will go a long way to fueling our cause. If you're going to be out there on the front lines, you should know more about it. The Tempest is more than a resource. That's how GDF sees it. But they are short-sighted. It is true power for everyone. Power that anyone can have. It came to us in our time of need. That's what our dynasty was founded upon. The Tempest is the birthright of our dynasty. The radiation that saturates our lands after the Great War makes it the perfect environment for the vines to grow. They start underground in the upper crust, growing straight out of solid rock. But our scientists have yet to find a termination point. It's not like the vines are all connected somewhere. They just start growing. It's as if the seeds were there all along, and the fallout was all they needed to grow. But that doesn't make sense. The Tempest grows even where there is no radiation, just at a significantly reduced rate. 10 years in, and even with everything we can do with it, we still have so many unanswered questions. Simple. The Tempest is energy. Energy is money. It came to us. It grows on our land from our irrigated soil, cleansing it and providing us with clean energy with which to rebuild. The people almost lost everything to that fool's war, but we were blessed with this one gift. The GDF machine hungers for more fuel as it continues to expand across the globe. While the biologists are all squabbling over how to classify the organism, if it can even be called that, it's the pod juice you need to know about. The fluid inside possesses what should be impossible qualities. The quantity of energy it somehow stores is astonishing. That's why you see the electric charges around the vines. And why you don't want to drive unshielded vehicles through Tempest patches. We've mostly converted to Tempest power across the board. And I've heard the R&D teams are working on all sorts of fun stuff. I'll keep you posted, shall I? While the biologists are all squabbling over how to classify the organism, if it can even be called that, it's the pod juice you need to know about. The fluid inside possesses what should be impossible qualities. The quantity of energy it somehow stores is astonishing. That's why you see the electric charges around the vines. And why you don't want to drive unshielded vehicles through Tempest patches. We've mostly converted to Tempest power across the board. And I've heard the R&D teams are working on all sorts of fun stuff. I'll keep you posted, shall I? Understood. Let's get you back out there. Got something a little different for you, General. A naval GDF task force is a little off course. They seem to have gotten lost in the Black Sea and ended up deep in Dynasty territory. I suppose that's what happens when their scopes can't find half of our bases. That being said, they've brought enough firepower to establish a small foothold. If I may make a recommendation, perhaps you should give them a map when you turn them out of our base. Good luck, General. Well done, General. We have reclaimed the Black Sea from GDF, and the VIP is currently enjoying the finest Dynasty hospitality as we speak. Let's hope his intel is worth the cost of his rescue. Anyway, your next task is on the northern border. GDF forces have taken. Stand by, General. Your forces are being redirected. This is a Priority 1 directive. Bear with me. The information is still coming in. Strange. You're going to Poprad in Slovakia. We have a base just outside the city. You are to reinforce this base with your own troops. Take command of the base when you arrive and escort and deliver the VIP safely to the research center. It appears GDF is becoming more active in the area than we had thought. No, I have no information on whatever he had. It's above my clearance level. Yours as well. The way this is written... General, If you're going to be protecting this VIP on the field, keep the package safe out there. Should be nothing. Now, I'm not so sure. I have data on recent patrols and supply runs, of course. But to launch an attack? The situation is still developing, but I'll level with you, General. I don't like this. It wouldn't hurt to get some defenses online when you arrive. Very good. Command is yours, General. Deliver the package and protect it at all cost. Good luck.
We need to talk. Your work on the battlefield has been admirable. I hope I can trust you with this. The data your charge carries is vital to the future of the dynasty. Escort him safely to the research center, then protect him while he works. GDF are not the only forces at play. You have your mission, he has his. Be mindful of what you say, General, and to whom. There are rats in the sewers.
They have found us, my friend. Our dynasty has waited long enough. We have gathered our strength, and GDF now knows of the might we possess. The time to strike is now. While our aggressors are still reeling, you will be my sword. While GDF hurries to fortify their southern borders, expecting our assault to come from Dynasty headquarters, you will attack from the north. Your target lies at the very heart of GDF territory. It is one of our enemy's weapons research sites. Taking the city would be a massive hit to their war effort. This opportunity will not present itself for long. You will leave immediately. My own forces are presently opening a path for your troops. You will also be given further access to our specialists. I think you've proven your self-competence enough. GDF territory is rarely as gifted by the presence of the Tempest as our lands. They lack the radiation needed to catalyze growth. The Tempest may grow without fallout, but in small quantities only. As long as we control the Tempest, the tide will remain in our favor. Don't expect to find much by way of resources in a pristine GDF city, but you shouldn't have much trouble, right? The Dynasty's finest. 5 of our most battle-hardened and capable soldiers, carrying the torch for the Dynasty's most renowned warrior. My dear father. These specialists, each possesses their own strengths and weaknesses. They are not all one-man army killers. Work with them. Use their unique abilities to your benefit. But remember, strong though they may be, they are still flesh and bone. I would be very disappointed to learn that an upstart general happened to have lost one. Very disappointed. You are in GDF's heartland. They will not be expecting an attack here, but they are sure to send reinforcements when you are detected. Watch your back, General. Good. Get to work. You have proven yourself loyal to me so far, General. Show me that my trust is not misplaced. Welcome back, General. GDF has been caught completely unprepared. Your efforts have been, well, most impressive. Congratulations. You will be pleased to hear your forces are already withdrawing and are en route to your next assignment. GDF will soon retake the city, but it matters little. Their weapons research data is on its way to our armaments wing. Our top technicians will be piecing together what they've been working on while they're still sifting through the rubble. Ever wanted to see the Alps up close? GDF has been carving bunkers into these mountains for decades. Some of them were used as fallout shelters. Now, they're home to GDF Military Command. Their defenses are solid. There's no way inside. The surface bases, however. You'll be working closely with our specialists again. Take out the bases, cut off supply and communications, and GDF Command will be brought to its knees. Oh, and don't get caught. I have reinforcements for you on their way from the east. Still, your window of opportunity is brief. You will strike while it is still open. You're going deep into enemy territory. To remain undetected, you'll have to make do without a base. A word of advice, gentlemen. A good leader takes care of his soldiers. Of course, GDF doesn't have just one operations center. With so many nations as part of their treaty, GDF has command headquarters all over the map. The primary set of command is in Canada, but their council, they're more elusive. The Alps are the first target. From here, GDF watches over their entire eastern border in Europe. Poke out the eye of the beast. They don't know to expect you yet, and this chance won't last. GDF love their drones, and their air zones above the most vital bases are buzzing with the pests. Tread carefully, and work to your specialists' strengths. If, however, they are expecting you, I trust you wouldn't find that too much of a problem. Good. Act with precision, General. We have the upper hand for now, but GDF is still a formidable threat. We cannot allow them to build up to full strength. There is much to be gained here. There is also much for us to lose. Remember that.
Ah, glad to see you, General. I see through all the black ink that your mission was a success. What was... Field Marshal Machallan would like a word with you, General.
General, back with us, I see. You have most certainly been making a name for yourself. Your efforts have been admirable, but I now have need of your skills elsewhere. Some of our generals have been draining our Tempest stores for their campaigns. I'd like you to make up for that disparity. Our richest Tempest fields are located here. You'll be pleased to hear radiation levels deep within these zones are now low enough to allow for routine harvesting to begin. A base has recently been deployed, and another officer will be arriving before you. Do not return until you've met your quota. Maybe that will give you some time to consider your position. Am I understood?
I think it's best you play along, General. Harvesting duty. You should go. You're more than qualified for this. Perhaps it's good you have some competition. If you can outperform the other bases, it would show your worth to the Dynasty. Let's see. Brigadier Dorch. An experienced soldier. Respectable track record. Oh. Fought alongside Damavoy Machallan in the last war. 3 losses in the past month. lost a heavily defended basis to a group of GDF commandos. That's embarrassing. Colonel Kisley is en route as we speak. I'm seeing a spotless record. That's odd. No losses during the campaign, some near misses but nothing severe. Informally served under Domovoy Machallan. Leave this with me, General. I'd like to make some inquiries while you're away. I won't sugarcoat it. The reason this location has been chosen is because of the high concentration of fallout. It's been a biological wasteland for the past 3 decades. Of course, the more radiation, the more Tempest. Essentially, as you get closer to the epicenter of Tempest growth, the levels of radiation start to dip, with the vine soaking it in and seemingly converting it into pod fluid. And I'm sure I just annoyed every scientist in the Dynasty. Ask our Tempest physicist, Dr. Yusupova, if you get the chance. Regardless, you yourself will be commanding from a reasonably safe distance. But don't spend too long. Dynasty standard-issued uniforms are graded for a degree of protection in our Tempest-rich lands, and your destination is a radioactive cold spot. But be aware, your units are about to be exposed to about 10,000 millirams per day. Take care of your soldiers out there. They're counting on you. An honor to serve the Tempest Dynasty in the purest and most noble way. Don't misunderstand me. It's true, but there are great fields of Tempest outside the mainland fallout zones. General, can you think of anything you have done that might have displeased Alex? With respect to the Field Marshal, your talents are underutilized here. Threat of attack is unlikely. However, with your luck, perhaps a few defenses wouldn't go amiss. Show them what you've got, General. Impressive work, General. Our great Tempest fields are the lifeblood of our dynasty. It would have been a great loss had GDF claimed these precious lands. By the way, the Brigadier and the Colonel send their greatest regards. It seems your efforts have made an impression on Field Marshal Machallan. Your forces are preparing to move out as we speak. Pythia has intel that places GDF's forward military outpost in France. And we've found you an opening. If the data I have is correct, there is a substantial gap between GDF columns, leading directly to... Yes? Do you need something?
Lieutenant, you need to follow us.
Hold on,
Your forces are required elsewhere, General. Please listen. I am not your enemy. We have little time. You are remote, and our connection should be secure. But the Dynasty HQ in Sofia is compromised. I have followed your campaign. Your efforts speak for themselves. More to the point, you are not one of the rats. There are few I can trust. Not even Alex. At least not yet. There are powers at play that he is ignorant of. His war is doomed. GDF is not our concern. We have older, more callous enemies. Since the founding of our dynasty, it has ever been my goal to use the light of the Tempest to lift up our people. After all we lost, it is our birthright. But as we dug, I discovered things not even the rats know. They are called the Hawthorne Initiative. There is more I will say in person. For now, know this. They are everywhere. Every government, every military. GDF is infested with them. Even my beloved dynasty. Even as I tried to prevent it, the plague found its way inside. But they don't have full control yet. They don't know about the greater power beneath the Tempest. They don't know about me. When Alex deposed me, I took the opportunity. General, I need you to bring him in. I cannot act without alerting Hawthorne, so this task falls to you. You are to infiltrate the Dynasty HQ and capture Field Marshal Alex Molchalin. My son and I have a lot to discuss. Godspeed, General.
After everything I've worked for, everything I have sacrificed for our dynasty, torn apart by that... General, still with us, I see. How did he win you over? I admit I had my suspicions, but my father had been planning his takeover for longer than I had anticipated. I thought that by isolating him from the chain of command, I could guide the dynasty to a better future, reclaim our soil, and raise our people from the darkness. My father's vision is flawed. He was a fine tactician. I always admired him for that, but he is chasing ghosts. He should be focusing on GDF, advancing across our land, but instead, he's sending you grave robbing. He won't listen to me. He has closed himself to my counsel. Unfortunately, he has too much of the dynasty at his disposal. I cannot oppose him. Not now. It would tear the dynasty apart. My hands are tied. The people still believe me to be in charge, but now my decisions are no longer my own. Oh. It appears visitation hours are over. Keep the dream alive, General. Not for me. Certainly not for the old man. For the dynasty.
This is it, General. The touch paper is lit. It is time we awaken the ones who presume to decree fate. They are already stirring. They feel their strength waning as we harvest their crops. You will see soon why I had to keep this from Alex. Who would believe a senile old man? The Tempest is ours, General. Ours. But it is not GDF we must wrest it from.
10,000 years of human history lies buried under this basin. It seems our enemy has also been drawn here. GDF has possession of an ancient temple. It marks the site of a great cataclysm and the fall of an empire. Your orders are...
These are your orders. Take the temple and discern its secrets. You are being entrusted with a nuclear warhead, General. Find out where to bury it. Bring humanity's old enemy into the light.
Well, am I glad to see you, General. Did you miss me? It's good to be back in the chair again. I've had a lot to catch up on, and I'm afraid to say, so do you. Turns out, Domovoy has been operating from his ancestral castle right in the middle of the European Tempest Zone. I thought his place had been abandoned. Gets hard to breathe outside sometimes. You can't leave without a hazmat suit. But all the electronics are Tempest shielded. There is actually a pocket of low fallout due to the high concentration of Tempest fields. If we didn't know this was here, GDF surely won't. Looks like he'd been preparing this place for a while. Domovoy, what do you make of him? He seems more awake than I was expecting. I don't know, but he led the Dynasty right from the start. We would have nothing if not for him. Alex is unhappy with him, and I mean, can you blame him? But I follow Alex, and right now, Alex is taking advice from his father. As for what he's planning, he wants the best for the Dynasty, our land, and our Tempest. As far as the rest of the Dynasty knows, nothing. He's still broadcasting his messages of assurance back at Dynasty HQ once he got back to his office. Says there has been an attempt on his life, but that he survived it. Blames GDF rats for the attack. You're right. We should get back to it. We've been watching the detonation site for anything. The Tempest has responded to the fallout. A little faster than expected.
I was gravely mistaken. I did what I could, but who could have predicted this? I wouldn't have believed it myself if my people weren't out there dying to these creatures. Deep under the surface, do they come from the same place as the Tempest? Does it come from them? Fine. Let them come. General, I don't entirely trust my father. But somehow he saw this coming. The Dynasty still answers to me, and I will hear his advice. For now. GDF are trying diplomacy. Let them have fun with that. These things are tied to the Tempest. They're here to take it from us. That makes things simple. Do not let them. The old man wants a word. Go. But remember, you report to me, not to him.
We need to bring him in. Alex, he's not safe. The Veti are covering ground faster than I'd anticipated. GDF haven't forgotten about us either, and our own headquarters are swarming with Hawthorne. General, you're the finest we have. I couldn't entrust this task to anyone else. This may be our last chance to talk. Can I count on you? That's what GDF have been calling them, but that's not what they call themselves. They are ancient, older than writing. I don't know where they came from, but they are no friends of humanity. The stories of old sometimes called them gods, the legends twisting over time. Beings greater than ourselves, who use lightning from their hands to enslave people. They were tricked, it seems. Humanity rose up, taking control of the source of their power, causing a terrible flood that sealed the Veti away. There is a repeating theme in the legends I could find. They protected their orchards jealously, their fields, their vineyards, their crops, the source of their power, General. energy which grows like fruit. Despite my illness, my mind is as sharp as ever. That's not why I stepped down from leadership. Yes, my son forced me out, but it worked in my favor. I had discovered the dynasty was infested with vermin. The Hawthorne Initiative is old. Those wealthy sycophants have had centuries to ingratiate their way into every seat of power. That's how they work. Control the power, but never possess it themselves. They seek to govern the world from afar, shaping it with whispered words rather than weapons. They control the GDF Council, and they are trying to control my dynasty. Who are the Hawthorne? They are the ones who first discovered the Tempest. They learned of its energy potential, piecing together how it grows, how it basks in radiation. They knew all this before the war, before the missiles flew. They knew what would happen if they covered the Earth in fallout. They knew, General. We are going to destroy the dynasty. At least that's how it will appear. GDF is focused on the Conquerors, at least for now, and that will draw their fire. That being said, they are sweeping across the map, attacking humans indiscriminately. Dynasty, GDF, civilians, children. HQ will be hit soon. You're going to get Alex out. Just Alex. Then, you will lead the Veti to our former headquarters. It will look to all the world as if the dynasty has fallen. And crucially, we rid ourselves of the Hawthorne rats.
Hawthorne agent detected. Hawthorne agent detected. Hawthorne agent detected. Hawthorne agent detected.
You see what has become of my dynasty? Bring me my son, and leave them nothing.
It all comes down to this, General. A new era for the dynasty. One way or another. Our old headquarters, destroyed. Our people are being pulled back while GDF moves forward to fight the enemy. But they are spreading unbelievably fast. I've no idea what to make of them. They harness the power of the Tempest in ways we could only dream of. Domovoy says he has a plan. It sounds risky, but if anyone can pull it off, it's you. You've brought us this far. You can count on me to see it through. It's been an honor serving you, General. I'll see you on the other side.
You have brought my son to me. The pests have been expunged, and the dynasty retreats to the shadows. We will rebuild, stronger than ever. But first, we must survive this onslaught. I must confess, the Veti are far more capable than I was anticipating. GDF are putting up an admirable resistance, but they are losing ground too quickly. Perhaps I had overestimated them, but all is not yet lost. The Veti draw their immense power from the Tempest more efficiently than we have been able to. So the solution is simple. Take the fire from the gods. We have identified a Veti stronghold in Italy, protecting a great temple. Capture it, General, and protect it at all costs.
The Tempest is bound to the Veti. It is in their technology, their physiology. It is the source of their strength, their immense power. Without it, they are nothing. Take this power from them, General. Capture the Veti Temple and learn their secrets to the Tempest. Then bring them to their knees.
thank you. Not only did you push the Veti back, they have stopped their assault entirely. We have their temple, we have their technology, if you can call it that. There is so much we have yet to learn, but at last, we hold the source of their power. There is more. A few hours ago, we registered a shockwave originating from Spain. Seems GDF had one last trick up their sleeve. Something hit the Veti hard. A dynasty base was in the region, though we have yet to make contact. I had hoped GDF would be weakened, but we must remain cautious. GDF believe us to be defeated. That gives us time. And with the Hawthorne Plague expunged from our halls, I can finally speak freely. No more hiding in the shadows, not from our people. We have work to do, my friend, for the dynasty.
What am I now? It was not long ago I commanded the greatest power known to man. Our proud and strong Tempest Dynasty. It was my honor to serve our people. What has become of the dynasty? Not at the hands of GDF or those creatures. My own father decides to tear down everything that I have built. He released them, the fool! So many lives. Am I to be his puppet? No. I misjudged you. That was my downfall. You are not loyal to him, nor to me. Don't think I can't see that. Your loyalty lies with the dynasty. That makes two of us. Now listen close. The old man knows more than he should about a great many things. You know about the ancient ones when no one else did. I want to know how. Listen to him. Find out what he's planning. We will talk later, you and I. This is not in order. This is for the future of the dynasty. Are you with me?